on this fully funded scholarship. And the first question I would like to answer today is, do I need to make it first class in order for me to be able to get a fully funded scholarship abroad? And the plain answer to that is no. You don't need to have made a first class in order for you to get a fully funded scholarship. However, the balance of that is that if you make a first class, it's probably going to make your journey faster in terms of applying for scholarships, because you know, funding agencies, scholarship bodies, they consider many things, including volunteering work, leadership capacity, your assessment, the grade. The grade is just one of the many things that they look into. So even if you didn't make a first class, you made it 2-1, you made it 2-2, you can still get yourself a scholarship. And of course, it all depends on what kind of scholarship you're applying to. Say, for example, you're applying to Chevening, for example. Chevening is impact-based scholarship, so it deals more with what kind of impact have you made. So easily you can get a scholarship even if you have a little grade. So do not allow that to deter you from applying for scholarship abroad, regardless of the grade you have. Well, one advice I always give to undergraduates who are still in school is that make it first class if you can, even if it means that you will likely not be pursuing part of academics afterwards. Maybe you will be getting into business regardless of that. But if you have it within your capacity to make that first class, make it. It's really going to be helpful. And one question that people also always ask is, can I get a scholarship abroad as an undergraduate? I mean, straight from secondary school, that's in the context of Nigeria now, or maybe other African countries. And we call it secondary school. Over here, they call it high school. Could I get a scholarship abroad just straight from secondary school? Yeah, that's also possible, but it's limited. And that's why most times you get to hear people talk about graduate scholarships only, and there's limited emphasis on undergraduate scholarships. But there are a few undergraduate scholarships that are relevant. It's important to know what those are. For example, the Stipendium of Greek Scholarship is one of those undergraduate scholarships in Hungary. There are a couple of them, I believe, in Romania as well, where you get a funding. There's kind of this bilateral agreement between Nigeria, between some other African countries, and European countries for students to come study. There are some people who come to Europe to study medicine, pilot engineering, some of those lucrative courses. It was through a scholarship that it came for such. But again, you should also know that there are also competitive scholarships like MasterCard that afford you also the opportunity to study abroad for free as an undergraduate. I think the most important thing is just doing the research and asking questions. Say, for example, you want to apply for that, you're in secondary school, you feel you want to apply for scholarship abroad. Feel free to reach out. More than happy to share a link with you. And of course, if you're studying in Nigeria, take advantage of all the scholarship opportunities that are available in Nigeria. There are a couple of them like MTN, like Chevron Scholarship, there's Chevron Scholarship, there's Total, and a couple of other ones that I know of when I was in school. I know there are many more that are probably out there now. So it's important you you know what scholarship opportunities are available, and ensure that you take advantage of them. Many times, one question that people also ask me is, how exactly do I find scholarships? Well, I think when it comes to applying for scholarships, it requires work. This is not something I say without having gone through the process and understand that it takes a lot of work, and it takes a lot of research, it takes a lot of due diligence. You're just searching. Because sometimes there are some opportunities that you may not even know about. Well, I'm going to list out possible ways for you to get updated on scholarships. One way is you can join our Telegram page where we get to post scholarship opportunities often. Another way is you could follow major website that deals with that, like After School Africa, and some other website like that where you could get a free update on scholarships that are available. And another way to get that is also be active on LinkedIn and follow the right people there. For example, if you need opportunity in the field, then you should follow people in that area, so that way you can keep yourself abreast of opportunities that are coming in that area. Follow people that post scholarship opportunities regularly. So there are a host of platforms where you could find scholarship. So I'm always amazed when I find people reaching out to me and they're like, oh, how do I get this scholarship? How do I find this scholarship? I'm like, no, this is basic. You should be able to do the research. So it's important that you know that you have to check website. There are specific websites, but more importantly is using social media also to advantage, like LinkedIn or maybe Twitter as well. Not necessarily Facebook. I know there's a little bit of that on Facebook, but Twitter, LinkedIn, they are two great places where you could find opportunities. One question that people also always ask is, currently I'm still in school, I don't have my transcript yet, should I start applying for scholarship? Well, when it comes to most of scholarship application, you need to know what the requirements are. For some, they're going to ask you for your CV, your transcript, your certificate, and many other things like that. But you need to ask questions. Would it permit you to use transcripts that is still, for example, not your complete transcript? You could get a transcript from the registrar's office and just use that pen the time that you get a full transcript. But you need to ask questions from the scholarship board. What exactly do you mean? Do you really need me to have this in the final format? Of course, you're going to need personal statement, you're going to need reference letters, proof of English proficiency many times, but not in all cases. So you could request that also from the registrar's office in the university in Nigeria. I think that should be the same also across Africa, just to show that you studied in English. And that way, most universities will weigh the English requirement for you. So always ensure you have your documents set when you apply for scholarships, because it's not really worth it when you invest your time and energy into an application and it didn't play out well eventually. Okay, so another thing is what makes a strong scholarship application? It looks like I keep applying for scholarship, but I keep getting rejection. Well, many times when people get rejection, I don't think it is because you are unqualified or you are not good enough. You just need to square your shoulder and ensure you don't remain on the spot. Making progress is the key. Are you able to see loopholes in what you did previously, and how can you make that better? The goal is for you to keep getting better, keep getting better, keep getting better. And that's really the goal. You have to keep getting better. So when it comes to making a strong scholarship application, it's more about all of those documents you'll be submitting. Just make sure they are solid enough. You should proofread it. Okay? And that could be done by people who have gone ahead, maybe colleagues, even friends. And when I was applying for scholarships, some of my friends actually reviewed for me. So you could have friends, because what you can see, your friends would be able to see that. So you should be able to reach out so that friends could help you check it out, because there could be basic mistakes that you may not even be thinking about that you've made, but other people will be able to help you out. Another thing is scholarships coverage. Many times scholarships do not cover all your tuition, or they don't give you full tuition, or something partial, maybe 50% is covered. You need to know what the scholarship is offering. For example, if you don't have a way of raising additional funds, if you get 50% scholarship, then please just defer and keep on applying for scholarship. Other opportunities will come. Don't put yourself under undue stress. Okay, if you know you have a way of sourcing for additional funds, that'll be great. There are scholarships that will take care of everything: your flights, your arrival. They will even give you some allowances here and there. So you need to know scholarship can cover all expense paid. So think about what you want and what you have and what you feel you need. That's really very, very important. Another question that people usually ask is, oh, I have multiple offers. That's good news. Okay, that's good news. And people are like, oh, so how do I know which one to choose? Say you have offer from Harvard and you have another one from Iowa State. Most likely what comes to mind is that you would choose Harvard. But it's not all the time that's the case. At least I know someone who got offer from Oxford and also got offer from Oregon State, and that person actually chose Oregon over Oxford. But there were reasons why that person chose Oregon over Oxford. So it's more about you being able to identify. I mean, you have to weigh your options, know what exactly you want. Okay, so I feel when it comes to that, the first thing you should always think about is, what kind of future do I want for myself? What career pathway do you really want? Where do you see yourself in the future? And how does this master's or PhD help you achieve that? So the project you're going to be working on, is it a cutting-edge research? Is it something that will be valuable in the future? You weigh that option, then you now weigh the option of who am I going to be working with? Is it going to be my major professor or your peer, as the case may be, on this project? Because your major professor has a major influence on your success in graduate school, most especially in the US or Canada. If you get that wrong, you'll probably struggle all through your graduate school. And it has nothing to do with you. It just has nothing to do with getting the right who you should choose. So the choice of the professor to work with matters a lot when it comes to having multiple offers. So another thing to be thinking about is, where do you see yourself living in? So think about that as well. Think about what kind of opportunities do they offer. But I'm trying to arrange them in the scale of how important they should be. Research first, the future first, the research, then think about who's your major professor, then think about where do you want to stay, where is yourself studying, then think about the packages that come with that. Sometimes the packages are offset by the location. That's why I'm putting the location first. Because, for example, if the package is, in some cases, the packages in California may be higher than what the package in Iowa is. But in reality, you are actually the person in Iowa is anyone and the person in California, because by the time you deal with all the expenses all over there. So you need to understand that where do you really want. If you want California, then go for it. But make sure you think about what are the packages that California is ready to offer you in terms of the health insurance, the stipend you could get, and many other things like that. And I feel it's also important for me to put in that a prestigious university is something that would also be good if that's something that is important to you, which is also something that people always look forward to. Okay, so if somebody is in Harvard on your CV, that is great. So if you get an offer from Harvard, you get an offer from MIT, all of those big schools, feel free to take advantage of it also. So think about how prestigious is the university, how prestigious is your program in the university as well. That's very important. For example, say you want to study computer science, and you need to be thinking about what school offers the best in terms of that program. So there's a lot to think about, but I think I've arranged in the scale of preference in terms of which one should you put first. I mean, that's on my own basis. And of course, one thing you should always first do, of course, is to talk to God about this, because He's probably the one that knows the future and knows what He wants for you. So that's all I'm going to be covering today on the frequently asked questions. I believe there are a lot more questions that people have ask all the time, but those are the ones I'll be touching on today. Thank you, and